In this video, we are going to discuss about production and purification of water from atmospheric humid air by using activated carbon method. This method is otherwise also called as atmospheric water generator. This project is mainly based upon the utilization of the renewable resources such as air that containing large amount of moisture in it. For this moisture content is used for the production of water and then purified by using the activated carbon that is also extracted from the coconut waste such as shell. The reason for choosing of this topic is the freshwater becoming more and more scarce and polluted, and its consumption is increasing with the population growth. Atmosphere contain a large amount of water in the form of vapor, moisture, fog, etc. Within this amount, almost 30% of water is wasted, for which the main aim is the utilization of the renewable resources. The main principle of this project is based on the condensation principle by allowing the pressurized air to meet the cooling coil to become condensation by attaining its dew point temperature. Finally, the water produced from the cooling condensation is purified by using the activated carbon that is extracted from the coconut waste and is activated by using the chemical treatment. The production of water is mainly by the principle of condensation process. Condensation of water happens when the water changes its phases from gaseous state to the liquid state or else its crystal shape. The basic principle of condensation is used here. At high pressure and low temperature, any gas can condense. Gases like that water vapor. The water vapor contain large amount of water droplets in the form of vapor. The condensation process is also the process in which water vapor in the form of air changes into liquid water when it touches a cold surface. When the water in the air come in contact with the cold surface, it condenses to form the water droplets. This phenomenon is also called as condensation principle. For the condensation process to occur, the air to become saturated or else to attain the dew point temperature. The dew point temperature is nothing but the saturated form of air. When the air is saturated with water vapor, which is known as the gaseous state of water, when the air has reached the dew point temperature at a particular pressure, the water vapor in the air is in equilibrium with the liquid water. That means water vapor is condensing at the same temperature at which the liquid water is evaporating. Below the dew point temperature, when we cool the air below the dew point temperature, the liquid water will begin to condense on the solid surface. Like that droplets that occur in the early morning in the grasses or else in the window of the home. On attaining the dew point temperature, it will start condensing like the fog, droplets of water in the grasses, like that. For the production of water, the cooling part is mainly worked based on the Peltier effect. For the condensation to occur, cooling is also occur. This is artificially produced by using the Peltier element, which works based on the Peltier effect. Peltier element is produce cooling and heat on each surface. It is working based on the principle of Peltier effect, which works by conducting the two different semiconducting materials. When the current passes from the two semiconductors such as copper and bismuth, the temperature rises occurs while passing the current from the copper to bismuth. While on the other end the temperature drops occur. At this case, the electron will either transfer the excess energy to the surrounding atoms or absorbs energy from them. This small temperature difference created in the both sides of the module will lead to the large difference when the heat from the hot side is removed to the maximum. This removal will create the temperature difference up to 70 degrees Celsius also. The temperature difference in the module will be up to 70 degree starting from the 10 also. The amount of heat that is removed from the one side of the element will lead to the maximum efficiency of cooling produced from that element, that is used for the air to condense to become water droplets. The components and materials that are required to proceed the projects are CPU cooler fan, Peltier module, heatsink, multi-layer heatsink, and thermal paste, cooling shells, condensing surface. CPU cooler fan is used to allow the pressurized air to pass to the medium of cooling surface, and multi-layer heatsink is used to remove away the heat from the element. This all are working on the electric current with the 12 volt power supply, 12 volt 10 amps. Now we are coming with the methodology that is used for the water production method. This Peltier module is used also in the homemade refrigerators, ACs, etc. But here we are using to condense water from the air. The methodology is used here is ambient air. The step 1 is ambient air is allowed to pass over the medium. By the way, the heat is removed from the hot side of the element by using the heat sinks. The heat sink containing heat from the element is removed by using the CPU fans that is located on both sides. One is remove the heat from that sink, and the other one is allow the cooling air to pass through the heat sink. And then next step is to effective cooling is produced by the medium, produced by the element by removing the heat. The efficiency of the element, which is TEC 12706, efficiency is up to 5 degrees Celsius or else 2 degrees Celsius also. Then the TEC is attached to the cold sink with the multi-layer shells. Cold sinks can absorb the cooling from the TEC device, because we can condense more water by attaching a multi-layer shells. When the cooling element produces a maximum amount of cooling, the different temperature containing different amount of different dew point temperature. For example, at room temperature like 25 degrees Celsius, it can have the dew point temperature up to 19 degrees Celsius. The amount of air we pass to the medium is reason for the amount of water production also, because 1 kg of air, like that 1 meter cube of air containing about 16.7 liters of water. On reaching the dew point temperature, condensation begins by allowing the pressurized air to pass through the cooling medium, the shells containing droplets of water. These droplets of water are continuously collected at the bottom of the medium surface. This produced water is up to 250 ml for about 5 hours. This is collected, and the setup is and the collected setup is here. We have the have the thermostats which will show the relative humidity and the temperature of the surrounding temperature of the inside temperature. Here we are separating the heat and cold side because we have to develop the maximum amount of cooling efficiency, that is we are separating the heat and cooling separately. Here showing the relative humidity. Relative humidity is important for the dew point to occur and for the amount of water to produce. The mechanism that is shown here, dry air is allowed to pass through the condensing surface. Behind the condensing surface we are placing the Peltier element. Cooling from the Peltier element is directly directly absorbed from the shells. Uh, then the heat from the Peltier element producing a maximum amount of heat is removed by using the multi-layer heat sinks. Then the surfaces start condensing when it is exposed, when it meets the humid air. The surface start condensing and the water droplets are absorbed at the collected at the bottom of the surface. Here we separating the heat and cooling from the element. In the front side we are exposing only the cooling shells because the air is allowed to pass only the cooling shells only. Here we use only one element. One element can produce 250 ml of water which is pure and contains some amount of air also contains some amount of toxic substances also. That is why we are using the carbon purification. When we are placing multi-layer elements like cascade of elements in this process, we can produce a maximum amount of water. It is used while we are traveling in the place, or else in household appliances for our drinking purpose, or also in the laboratory purpose. As a sterile water used in culturing medium, else in the drinking purpose also. Now the production of water from the air is completed. Then the next step is the production of activated carbon from the coconut shell for the purification of water process. This is one of the biological method because biological method is more efficient than the other chemical methods. Because the preparation of activated carbon from the coconut shell is to enhance the water quality. This coconut shells are turns into carbon by burning at a high temperature with a low supply of oxygen with the muffle furnace to turn the shells completely to become the ash. Then remove the charcoal from the pail and place it on the draining tray. These are the steps that are followed during trays. The first step is the coconut shells are collected and then they are burning at high temperature with a low supply of oxygen to turn them to completely ash. Remove the charcoal from the pail and place it on the draining tray. Wash and rinse it thoroughly with the clean distilled water to remove all the trace amount of ashes in it. Allow the shell the carbons to become dry for an hour. Now the carbon is ready. Then which is unactivated, that is shown in the picture, that are black in color. Then the carbon is to become activate, for which we have using the chemical activation method. This carbon is soaked with the 25% of calcium chloride for about 20 hours to become activated carbon. to increase the pore size of the coconut shells for the better purification process to absorb the turbid anything in this water. Then place this charcoal in the oven heated to 215 degrees Celsius, 215 degrees, and allow it to bake for about 3 hours. Then the activated carbon, which is removed and crush it into powder form using a blender. Now the activated carbon is ready. We have to confirm that whether the activated carbon is activated or not. This is tested by using the quantitative method by using the methyl orange. The methyl orange is diluted with the distilled water, and then the 1 gram of 1 gram of prepared carbon is placed in the pour in the methyl orange. Then this the color of the methyl orange decreases according to the activation of the carbon. Thus the confirmation of the activated carbon is done. Next and last step is the purification process, for which we are performing slightly the basic purification process, for which the small size gravels are chosen and activated carbon is chosen and sand is chosen. These are all can absorb the toxic materials and excess gases and bacteria that are present in this water. This figure shows the column preparation that is used for the purification of water. Here we are showing the 2 layers of purification materials. First one is gravel and the second one is sand. The quantity of the packing inside the column is based upon the water that we are pouring it. First one is gravel, sand and activated carbon. They are separated by the cotton blocks. And the other layer is also the gravel, sand and activated carbon. Then after the column is prepared, the water is poured from the upper sides, and this is then draw from the opening at the bottom. The water is then purified. This water is whether drinkable or not is tested, and this water is drinkable. All the parameters are within the range that are available for our drinking purpose. Thus water produced by using atmospheric air is done. Here we are using the electricity. If we are using the solar panel, that is also used the renewable resources solar energy, it will not consume any of your sources, and it will produces the maximum amount of quality water. And if we want to produce it as a water bottle, we can just insert a carbon filter in it. This is the one of the best method that is used in future for the production of water, because the consumption of water is decreasing with the increasing populations, and often all the waters are also toxic and contaminated due to human purposes also. That is why we are choosing this method. And maximum efficiency of water is produced by using this method also. Thus this is used in simple home appliances and for drinking purpose. Thank you. In this video we are going to discuss about production and purification of water from atmospheric humid air by using activated carbon method. This method is otherwise also called as atmospheric water generator. This project is mainly based upon the utilization of the renewable resources such as air that containing large amount of moisture in it. For the this moisture content is used for the production of water and then purified by using the activated carbon that is also extracted from the coconut waste such as shell. The reason for choosing of this topic is the freshwater becoming more and more scarce and polluted, and its consumption is increasing with the population growth.